Hello children, good morning. Welcome to all for ABVK group of institution. Today I'm going to explain that fourth grade 6 social science history lesson number 4 ancient civilization. Myself Huma. Okay children, what do you mean by ancient civilization? Ancient civilization means Prachina Nagarikategalu. Okay, in that term, which are the ancient civilization are there? What are the major things? First one, which is a whole in which is the first ancient civilization in the world. So these are the things, and what are the major importance of the civilization, how they are ruled for the people, and what are the important things are there in the kingdoms, and who is the main king, how he is ruled, and what is the major importance of the kingdom. These are the things we are going to learn in this lesson. So we have to move on the next slide, that is what is the first meaning. First, we have to learn what is a ancient civilization. Ancient civilization refers to specifically, one second children. Yeah, ancient civilization refers specifically to the first settled and stable community that became for better later status and nations and empire. So, ancient civilization will be the one that will specifically to the first settled. So, first settlements they are live in the first and stable. Stable means they are one place in the one place they are settled and they are survive of the community, and that became what is there in the small groups now that become later a states. First it will be a community, small groups will be there, afterwards it become a states, and afterwards nations, and afterwards empire. Now you understood rajya desha and like a kote, like ಏನಂತೀವಿ, ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇ ಆದ ಒಂದು ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯವನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಏನ್ಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಸಿವಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿವಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ. Civilization means society, their culture and their way of the life during the particular period. So in the society, people they are leading with their own culture and own way of life during the particular period. Yes or no? For example, how we are leading life in this particular period, it is major important. Yes or no? So like that in the ancient civilization, people how they are introduced, how they are adopt their culture with them, and how they are leading the life with the culture and with the particular period at time is known as a particular part of the world is known as a civilization. Ancient civilization refers specifically to the first settled and stable community. It become a later states and nation empire. So what are the important civilization we can see in the world? That is Egypt civilization, Mesopotamia, see Egypt civilization, Mesopotamia civilization, and Chinese civilization. Green color shows no, that is Chinese civilization, and Greek civilization, and Roman civilization, and last one Harappa civilization. See children, in this map you can see that 6 civilization. So now we have to learn one by one civilization. Okay children. So first one, Harappa, Egypt civilization. First, we are going to learn that Egypt civilization. So, you know very well, Egypt civilization is one of the prehistorical period people settle on the bank of river. Where the people are settled, you know very well, prehistorical period people where they are settled children, they are settled on the bank of rivers. The rivers banks become the cradles of ancient civilization. The rivers of banks Rivers of bank become the cradles of ancient civilization. So Egypt is the first civilization of the ancient world. Which is the first civilization? Egypt is the first civilization of the ancient world. The Nile is regarded the longest river in the world. You know very well, which is very longest river in the world. That is Nile River, and it is major north flowing. How it will flow? It will flow in the north to north flowing. Okay, where it is located? It is located in the Africa continent, and it is also joined with the Mediterranean Sea. Which sea it will join? It will join with the Mediterranean Sea. And See, children, if the Nile River, it will not flow in the Egypt means what it would be? It would be a desert. Yes or no? If it will be not flow in the Egypt Nile River, it would be a desert. So that's why the Egyptian, what they are considered? They are considered as a Nile River is the gift of Egypt. The Egypt is the gift of Nile River. Okay, children, which is the gift of Egypt? That is Nile River. Nile River is the gift of Egypt people. So next we have to move on the political history. So how many years ago the Egyptian civilization it will start? Means it is 5,400 years ago. Egypt civilization is started. Okay, children, 5,400 years ago it will start. The king of Egypt were called as a pharaoh. What we will call for the king? The Egypt especially the kings are there, no? The kings were they were called as a pharaoh. And Mens was the first pharaoh in the Egypt. Who was the first pharaoh in the Egypt? That is Mens was the first pharaoh in the Egypt. And what is his capital? Means it is Memphis. Memphis is the capital of Mens. Mens, pharaoh of Mens. Next, Khufu, Amenhotep, and Thomas were the prominent and pharaohs. Okay, after the Mens who came to rule, that is Kuf, Pharaoh Amenhotep, and Thomas were the prominent kings or pharaohs. The largest pyramid, see children, this is the largest pyramid of Giza, is called as a Great Pyramid of. It is a Great Pyramid. Who constructed this one? This is constructed by Kuf. Okay, after the coup, Amenhotep expanded his kingdom and he established. Okay, after the coup, who came to rule? That is Amenhotep. After that, Amenhotep, Thutmose was the greatest conqueror among all the later pharaohs. Thutmose was the greatest king of the among all the later pharaohs. After who are coming in that, Thutmose was the greatest king. And after that, Thutmose, one lady, she is a Hatshepsut. Okay, she is a lady, and she came to power after him. And he came to known as the first empress. She is known as the empress. Empress means Samragni, Rani. Okay, for where? In the Egypt civilization. Who came to rule? That is Hatshepsut. She is the name of the Hatshepsut. She is the empire of the Egypt civilization. Next, after that, Alexander came to rule. See, who is the Alexander? Alexander was the finally about 2,300 years ago. Alexander, the great conqueror of Egypt, is the great conqueror of Egypt. He appointed his military general like a Ptolemy as a representative. Ptolemy, he is appointed like a Ptolemy members to the military purpose, military general. Okay, he is appointed as a military general. Later, the Ptolemy has declared himself the king of Egypt and they are established as the Ptolemaic dynasty. First, Alexander has been appointed as the Ptolemy dynasty, Ptolemy peoples as a military general. Afterwards, later they are themselves only they are decided they has the dynasty, like they are constructed as a dynasty and they are declared as a kings. So afterwards we have to see the Ptolemaic dynasty. In the popular queen, who is the popular queen? These are the peoples in the Ptolemy dynasty, children. So here one lady will be there. She is Cleopatra. Cleopatra was the last ruler of this dynasty. Which dynasty? The Ptolemaic dynasty. And evenly the Egypt of become the prominence of Rome. Next, what is the contributions? What is the contribution of Egypt civilization? Means wheat and barley. Wheat and barley were the food crops of the people. What are the major crops they were growing? Means wheat and barley. They the major crops of Egypt civilization. The condition of the slaves were very pathetic, means very difficult. The large pyramids were possible because of the slaves only. You can see in the Egypt civilization, we have to see more than big pyramids where it will be available. Yes or no? So the construction, who are construction, the slaves are constructed that pyramid. And what is the major work for humans? Means they want to make the statues of the they want to make the statues of the king or pharaohs. Okay, so that's why the slaves are very pathetic condition in the Egypt civilization. Next, the people of Egypt believed their life after death, so they preserved their dead bodies. So, what they will call for the preserves dead body means it is a mummy. Okay, in the Egypt people, they are believed after the death, people they have the life, so that's why they are preserving the special oil and they will wrap it on the white cotton clothes and they are kept in the coffin. So, and they are called as a mummy. Next, children. Sun and river. Sun and river, they are main worshipped as a god in the Egypt civilization. And Egypt script is known as a hieroglyphic. What is the script? Hieroglyphic is the script of the Egypt civilization. How they are writing with the help of papyrus. The Nile River, okay, in the Nile River, near the Nile River, we can see this plant. This plant is known as a papyrus. So in with the ink of they are writing the hieroglyphic. Okay, it is the main script of the Egypt civilization. Next, we have to move on that next one. They had enormous knowledge. Okay, who had the enormous knowledge means great knowledge for the Egyptian people because they are very well known in the knowledge and geometry. Geometry means you know very well. Okay, and which was used to building and large pyramids. They are very good in the knowledge, geometry, and used for the building and large pyramids. So that's why in the Egypt we can see very very large building. And also we have to see the statue of Sphinx is the most attractive Egyptian architecture. Okay, and the statue of Sphinx is the most attractive Egyptian architecture. The Sphinx is an animal. See, children, this is known as a Sphinx. Sphinx is a name. Body is an animal, and the head of the man. So this is known as a Sphinx. Who constructed this one? This is Kuf. Okay, Kuf built that. So next we have to move on the Mesopotamia civilization. What do you mean by Mesopotamia civilization? Where it is born, the Mesopotamia civilization flourished on the area that lies in the valley of between the Tigris and Euphrates river in the modern Iraq. Where we can see, children, the Mesopotamia civilization, we can see in between the Tigris and Euphrates river. Okay, and that land is known as the Mesopotamia. So, what do you mean by Mesopotamia? Mesopotamia means the land between the rivers. The land between the two rivers is known as a Mesopotamia. And the region, Mesopotamia region, was ruled by the four tribal peoples. Mainly four tribal peoples they were ruled. Which are those? That are Sumerians, Babylonians, and Hittites, Hittites, and Assyrians and New Babylonians. Okay, so Sumerians, Babylonians, Hittites, Assyrian, and New Babylonians. These are the people who are ruled in the Mesopotamia region. So, what is the political history of Mesopotamia civilization? Is Sumerians were the responsible for one of the first civilization in this region. In the Mesopotamia civilization, Sumerians, the tribal people, will be the none. They are first responsible for the first civilization of the Mesopotamia. And Hur-Kish, okay, Hur-Kish, Lagash were the important cities that flourished here were in the Mesopotamia civilization. Name that important cities means Kish, Lagish, and Ur. Okay, which are the famous cities we can see. And Sumerians were used to cuneiform. This is known as a script, children, for the Mesopotamia script. So Sumerians used a cuneiform system of writing on the wet clay slates. Mesopotamia were in the contact with the with Indians. So they are using cuneiform clay slates to write the scripts and all, and also they were very contact with the Indian peoples. After that, children, the Akkadians, after Sumerians, Akkadians came to rule. Akkadians ruled after the Sumerians. So they were very strong. And afterwards, they conquered and destroyed the barbarians. Okay, so Akkadian will be there now. They were conquered and destroyed. Conquered means Akramana Madodu, destroyed and naಶ ಮಾಡೋದು by the barbarians. Barbarians people will be there, they were destroyed. Next, children, we have to move on. The next one, later Amorites, who came to that first Sumerians, Akkadians, and later Amorites came to rule. Is one of that Semitic tribal people. Okay, and they are all tribal people only. They ruled for the Babylonia in the Mesopotamia. They were ruled in Babylonia. They brought that Akkadian state under their control. Who came to under the rule means that is Hammurites bought the Akkadian states under his control in the established a large state. Understood? So they bought the Akkadians before Akkadians were ruled. No, so that's why they stayed under their control for the Hammurites, and they are established a large state. After that, Hammurabi, he is a famous king. Okay, he was a famous king and great king in the Babylonia. Who is a famous king? Hammurabi is the most famous king in the Babylonia. He was famous and his code law. What is the code law of Hammurabi means? That is an eye for an eye and tooth for an tooth. See, he's the famous law. His code of the law is based on the ideas. Okay, what are the major problems? So for example, what they are done, that is based on that he will give the punishment laws. So for example, an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. If you are hurting for like that means they will give severe condition, severe punishment will be there in the kingdom. And Babylonian rules are followed by the Kassites and Hittites races who ruled for the sometimes. After the Hammurabi, that Kassites and Hittites were ruled sometime of the Babylonia. See children, this is known as Mesopotamia civilization map. Here, Hammurabi, see Hittites, Kassites are ruled here. Sometime, not too much. For some years, they were ruled after Hammurabi in this Mesopotamia civilization. See, this is the map. Euphrates River, Tigris River. Here, Babylonian will come, Sumerians and Akkadians. Okay, so this is the map of Hammurabi time. Next, after that, children, Hammurabi after Ashurbanipal. Who is that Ashurbanipal? Ashurbanipal is defeated for the Hittites and ruled the Mesopotamia. Ashurbanipal was Hittites, defeated to the Hittites and ruled for the Mesopotamia. And he is a very famous king, and he is constructed the large, and he was the last great king of Syrians. Who is the last and great king of Syrians means that is Ashurbanipal. Okay, Ashurbanipal was the last greatest king in the Syrians. He was a brave warrior. Who is a brave warrior? That is Ashurbanipal was a brave warrior. He was also found the royal library. Who found the royal library? That is Ashurbanipal was found the royal library at Nineveh. See children, he is known as Ashurbanipal. He is a brave warrior and also poet. He found the library at Nineveh. Next, children, we have to move on the Nebuchadnezzar. Who is Nebuchadnezzar? After Assyrians, Ashurbanipal, another Semitic tribal they came, that is Chaldeans, re-established the Babylonian. Chaldeans came to re-establish the Babylonian. So Nebuchadnezzar was a famous and greatest king among them. Okay, he is also one of the famous and greatest king among them. He created the hanging garden. Who? That the Nebuchadnezzar created the hanging garden, which one of the seven wonders of ancient world. For his wife, for us, he constructed the hanging garden in the palace. So it is one of the wonders, seven wonder of the ancient world. Next, finally, about 2,500 years ago, Empire of Cyrus and conquered the city of Babylonia. After that, 2,500 years ago, the empire Cyrus was conquered, means Akramana of the Babylonia, which resulted the downfall of Mesopotamia. It is the last stage of Mesopotamia. And what are the contribution of Mesopotamia civilization means? The Mesopotamia were first to adopt the code of law in the world. okay, Mesopotamia were the first adapted the code of law. Who introduced that one? Hammurabi. Hammurabi was the first ruler of enforce the code of law. He was started the enforce of code of law. He had prohibited abuse of the slaves and his code of law because before that all the kings they are abused for the slaves. So that purpose they are given this code of law for the slaves purpose. Next, Mesopotamia had established trade relationship with the Harappa and Egypt civilization. They have connect with the trade relationship with the Harappa and Egypt civilization. Each city had the garden and the duty as in Egypt. Each city had the guardian duty as in Egypt. And high-rise temple named Jigurod. Okay, high-rise temple we have to say where we can see in the Mesopotamia they were built here, and cuneiform script was used by these people. Gilgamesh is the great epic poem of Mesopotamia. Understood, children? Ziggurat is the high-rise temple, cuneiform is the script, and Gilgamesh is the great epic poem of Mesopotamia. And this is known as a high-rise temple where we can see in the Mesopotamia civilization. And Gilgamesh is the great epic poem of Mesopotamia. It is known as a script. This is known as a cuneiform. Next, we have to move on the Chinese civilization. What do you mean by Chinese civilization? What are the major things will be there and where it is born? These are the things we have to learn here. See, children, you know that what is China? China, this country, where it lies in the east of India in China. Where it lies in the east of India in Asia continent. China is the first populated country. Okay, second place goes to India. And the yellow complexioned, means yellow complexed Mongolian tribals are there in the ancestor of people. Which people we have to see here? This is Mongolian peoples we can see in the China. These are the ancestors. Ancestor means Purvajaru of this people. Okay, where we can see in the China. And Yangtze, Huanggo, Sikiang. Yangtze, Huanggo, and Sikiang yellow rivers are the prominent rivers of this region. Which region? Chinese region. So they are called as the cradles of Chinese civilization. The three rivers will be there, now children. This is known as the cradles of Chinese civilization, and also we will call it as the yellow rivers. And what are the major things? Initially, they are ruled from the villagers. Where they are ruled? They are ruled from the villages, and they developed with the foreign trade by growing paddy and silk. While they are growing with the paddy and silk, they are occupied that foreign trade. Next, what are the dynasties they were ruled? Mainly, we have to see many dynasties were ruled. First one, Shang dynasty, Zhou dynasty, Qing dynasty, Han dynasty, Xiu dynasty, Tang dynasty, Song dynasty, Yuan dynasty, Ming dynasty, and Qing dynasty. These are the main dynasties were ruled in the Chinese civilization. Next, children, the first ruling family was the Shang dynasty, which is the first family, Shang dynasty. When they ruled between the 18th to 12th century BCE. And what is the main work? Agriculture is the main work. And what is the major work for them? That is mastering the craft. Okay, mastering in the craft and producing the bronze and Procalian dishes. Procalian dishes, and these are the things. See, Procalian dishes, ceramics, silk, and bronze, and words. They are very well known in the mastering in the craft. After the Shang dynasty, who came to rule? That is Zhou dynasty. After Shang dynasty, Zhou dynasty came to rule. Who is the famous king in the Zhou dynasty? Means Huang. Huanggo is the famous king in the Zhou dynasty. And Lord Zhe. Who is that Lord Zhe? Lord Zhe is a scholar. See, children, once again. So Huang is a famous king in the Zhou dynasty, and well known that Lord Tse will be there. No? He is a well known philosopher and Confucius of the lived in this period. He's a scholar, philosopher, educationist, and after this Zhou dynasty, who came to rule, that is Qin dynasty. Zhou dynasty, after Qin dynasty came to rule, the name China is derived from this word dynasty. Which dynasty? Qin dynasty. Qi Huangdi, he is a person. Qi Huangdi was the famous king. He brought the uniform law, means everyone equal. Equal means same law, uniformity law. And he is the first empire of China. Who is the first empire of China? This is Qi Huangdi is the first empire of China. And he built the 1,500-mile long Great Wall of China. Who built that Great Wall of China? Means that is Qing Huangdi was built the Great Wall of China, and it will protect China from the onslaught of enemies. So that wall will be then it will be protect us from the enemies. And what is the important about the Great Wall of China means the history of the Great Wall is said to have started from the Spring and Ottoman period. When they started in the Spring and Ottoman period. So 770 to 476 BC. Over the following year, how many years? 2000 years it will be. So the wall was built to protect the northern frontiers from the pastoral people. So, for the main purpose of enemies, the wall is about 8,851.8 kilometer long. How many kilometer longs will be there? It is 8,851 kilometer. The Great Wall of China has been called as the longest cemetery and the earth. Which is the longest cemetery on the earth? Means that is Great Wall of China. Over a million people died building on the wall. Many million people died during the constructions of the wall. So this one archaeologists have found the human remains buried under the parts of the wall. So many dead bodies we can found in the wall. Okay, found on the wall. And Han Dynasty. After the Qin Dynasty, Han Dynasty came to rule. Hu Ti was a famous king in this dynasty. Which dynasty? After Hu Ti was a famous king in this dynasty. He established the empire and he gained the foreign trade importance under his rule. Okay, he gained the foreign trade and importance under his rule. There was a great demand for silk in the Rome, and as a result the trade route between the China and Rome become very famous for the Silk Road. China and Europe, China and Rome was very important in that. China and Rome were very become very famous about the Silk Road, and Buddhism entered China during this period. Okay, Buddhism it is entered in the Chinese period. Art and literature receives a great patronage during the rule of Han Dynasty, and this period is known as a golden age in the Chinese civilization. So, next, children, ancient Chinese architecture. Their pavilions. Chinese pavilions are covered structure without surrounding walls. How they are construct the building? They are construct without surrounding of the bodies. There, we have to see. And next is Sung Dynasty. After Han Dynasty, Sung Dynasty came to power. Of this dynasty of wood painting and printing press, in this dynasty, wood printing press and production porcelain dishes started. Okay, wood printing press. This is known as a wood printing press. The Mongolians ended the rule of Sung dynasty by conquering and picking of the capital of Sung dynasty. Today, what is the capital of China? Means that is Beijing was the capital of China. Next, what is the contribution of Chinese civilization? The contribution of Chinese civilization to the ancient world was a remarkable, means very important. They introduced the tea and silk to the world. Chinese were introduced tea and silk. The great invention like a paper made up of bamboo. Okay, how we are getting the paper with the help of bamboo. Explosive painting brushes and porcelain dishes and mariner compass, and the credit goes to Chinese. They used to pictographic script to write. Okay, which one they are writing? They are using the pictographic script on the Chinese civilization. They used to write the bamboo slips and vertically from the top to bottom. How they are writing with the top to bottom. Lord Zhou was a Confucius enriched field in the philosophy, and he thought that simple living sacrifice harmoniously relationship with the nation. And these are the important things we have to learn in this Chinese civilization, children. Next, we have to move on the Harappa civilization. Next, we have to move on Harappa civilization. So, this is one of the ancient civilization we are going to learn. So, Indian history has studied from the period of Vedas till the last century. Yes or no? We all are learned from the Vedas till the last century. And Diaram Sahani, see children, this is known as a Diaram Sahani and this is known as a Rakaldas Banerjee, means Hardy Banerjee was excavated sites of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Who excavated the sites of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro means that is Diaram Sahani and Rakaldas of Banerjee. They were discovered and excavated of the site. So they were discovered at once in the published back to history. India at least 2000 years earlier to the Vedas. It was called as the Indus Valley Civilization because some of its important sites which were excavated first are located in the valley of river Indus and tributaries. Where near the Indus River, we can get many excavated places and all. So that's why it is near the Indus River. We can find this civilization. And during this research, after his many 1,500 sites, see children, 1,500 sites have been found belong this civilization. How many sites they are found? They found the 1,500 sites belongs they found in the civilization. Hence, it is understood that this civilization is present behind the river Sindhu plains. So that's why they are believed that behind the Sindhu rivers it is found. Who believed like that? That is archaeologist. And Harappa civilization has been spread over 13 lakh square meter. How many meters will be there? It is 13 lakh square meter. This stretches up to Mand of Kashmir in the north side Kashmir, and Skutenjar of Balochistan in the west, Skutenjar of Balochistan in the west, and Halangipur in the Uttar Pradesh in the east, and Daimabad of Maharashtra in the south. These are the places. Instead of calling this is the Indus Valley civilization, and it is called as a Harappa civilization. So Indus civilization is nothing but Harappa civilization. These are the places we have to see that. And it is called as a Harappa civilization where it is was found in the first. And what are the major important cities of Harappa civilization means that is Pakistan. Now it is there in the Pakistan. Children, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, Pakistan. Kalibangan in the Rajasthan. Dolavira, Lothal, Gujarat, and Rakigari. It is there in the Haryana. These are the important cities in the Harappa civilization, and they were given more prominent about the city planning. They are very well planned persons. They were protected by forts. Okay, who were protect the forts? That Harappa civilization people protect the fort. Wide road means very wide, enlarged roads. Public wells means ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಕೊಳಗಳು. Multi-storied buildings means ಎತ್ತರವಾದ ಕಟ್ಟಡಗಳು. And the well planned for the drainage system. Who in the Harappa civilization they given more prominent about the well drainage system. And the important features of Harappa cities. The drainage system is very great achievement of for the ancestors. Okay, drainage system is very important about the great achievement of ancestors. More importance was given to the cleanliness. Who are given more prominent about the cleanliness? Harappa civilization, they are given more prominent about the cleanliness and public health. It is a model for the present situation also. Okay, Harappa peoples they are given more prominent about this. And the great bath of Mohenjo-daro. In Mohenjo-daro, a great tank for public bath. Okay, this is known as a Mohenjo-daro great tank, but later they are considered as it is a public bath. Okay, and there are four rooms will be there all sides. That water it is not there now, but The four sides also we can see the rooms, and six large granaries and quarters for the laborers are found in the Harappa cities. How many granaries will be there? There are six granaries, means Kanajagalu. Okay, granaries is nothing but Kanaja. Why? Because of the storing food. And also laborers are found in the Harappa cities. Lothal was a popular harbor in those days. Harbor means port. Lothal was a famous port in the Harappa civilization. The weaving cotton and woolen cloths were one of the major crops of the occupation. Weaving cotton means button neyodu, and woolen cloths were the major occupation of Harappa civilization, and also the production of the baked bricks and another occupation. They did animal husbandry. Husbandry means prashu cattle, goats, pig, cats, and dogs, camels, donkeys were usually reared. These are the animals they were reared. And we have to see this is the image of Pashupati. Pashupati means God, Shiva. Bull seal with the script. What they are using the scripts and all, no, that is the seal. And unicorn seal with the mythological animal. So mythical means Pauranika on the animal. Okay, that is known as the seal also. And this is meant metal idol of the dancing girl. What is this, children? This is known as a metal idol of the dancing girl. Next, this is known as the images of mother goddesses. Mother goddesses. Next, we have to see that sculpture of beard man. Sculpture of beard man. These are the important things we have to see in that Harappa civilization. And how is of social life? The both men and women were found that decorating themselves. Both are equally they are decorating. And the woman used for some ornaments like necklace, fillets and armlets, finger rings, bangle, earrings, and nose stud. They were using the cosmetic and knew that using for the perfume also. They are also using the cosmetic and perfumes. The men also usually they were decorated themselves. Both men and women we can see both decorated. And what are the other things like a marbles, balls, dice were their sports. Marble, dice. Marbles means goli. Balls and dice are the major sports. Bullfighting was a major entertainment. Bullfighting was a major entertainment. And toys depicting of the bullock and the carts were there. One of the children's along with the dolls. See children toys depicting bullock carts. See, small bullock carts were there for the children along with the dolls. Next, art. Some small idols of mother goddesses made up of clay and have been found in the large numbers. Small idols like a mother goddesses made up of clay have been found in the large number. ಯಥೇಚ್ಛವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಹರಪ್ಪ civilization. And more than 2,000 terracotta seals have been found in the Harappa civilization. And the dancing girl and figurine and a statue of beard man, stone or idols are beautiful art and fact have been found in this region. And what is the religions for these people? Means people they are worshipped as a Shiva. Okay, people worship as a Pashupati or Shiva and mother goddesses. Okay, they are worshipped for Pashupati and mother goddesses. They are worshipping, and people are neem tree, sun and fire, earth, water, snakes, and were worshipped. Not only the Pashupati and mother goddesses, they are also worshipping as a people tree and neem tree, sun, fire, earth, water, snakes. They were worshipped. Fire pits. See, children, that time in the Kalibanga, they are using the fire, means yagnagalu. Okay, and that one also we can see now also. Fire pits are found in the Kalibangan and Lothal, which is the proof of fire rituals. ಅಂದರೆ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯಗಳು ಇತ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಕಾಲಿಬಂಗನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಹಾಕಿರುವಂತ ಯಜ್ಞಗಳಿಗೆ ಬಳಸ್ತಿದ್ದಂಥವನ್ನ ನಾವು ದೊರಕಿದೆ. So next, script children. Harappa had developed their own unique script. Okay, and they have own unique script of the language. The scholars have been trying too hard to understand writing on the seals, but it is very wide. So the scholars will be there, no? So educational thinkers and scholars philosophers that people they are very difficult to understand this writing, but it is now also it is very difficult, we can't understand. And declines of the cities. So how the city has declined, that means ended, came to end. What are the major things we have to know? The cities of Harappa civilization has begun to disintegrate of the gradually the entire the civilization has disappeared. Maybe something happened for the cities, so that's why it is totally civilization is disappeared. ಏನಾದರೂ ಅಪಾಯ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದಾ, ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಗ್ನೇಟ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ there are many causes of it is decline. What are the causes will be there to decline? The floods at regular intervals in the Indus, and it is tributaries means ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನದಿಗಳು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿರುವುದರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರವಾಹ, maybe floods are something regularly floods it will happen, we don't know. That the overuse of wood for burning bricks, what they are using, they are the using for the overuse of the wood for the burning bricks, that may be destroyed for the forest, which is necessitated for their migration. Maybe it is one of the migration. So the Aryans who came for the outside, Aryans means one of the tribal people, so who came to outside, they would be attacked them. After they were attacked them, don't know, they spread the infections of diseases, sometime maybe infection diseases happen. So like that they have own ideas why the Harappa civilization came to end. So what happened, how they stopped, declined of this civilization. But that archaeologists they have own ideas, but we are not getting proper reason to how that Harappa civilization came to end. So all the above reasons might have been causes of the disappearance. Appearance means can't, so the disappearance means we can't see. So of the great civilization of the historians are the opinion, hat of the spectacular town planning, and the version of the four our ancestors are the models of this present. So, but anyway, we have to learn with this four civilization the different things. Is there no? How they are construct the countries, and how they are construct the pyramids and statues, how they are given growing more, how they are construct the silk route, and how they are writing the cuneiform pictographic and hieroglyphics, so how they are using, these are the things we are learned in this lesson. I hope everyone understood this lesson. Thank you children, thank you for watching.